You know, earlier session you talked about saving weight, carrying as little as possible. Try to make your fishing trip a little as enjoyable as possible. One of the things that I like to do is, instead of carrying a water bottle, especially plastic, I don't like carrying plastic around, is use a metal bottle, aluminum bottle, fill it up with water, and I freeze it. Now make sure when you got to remember, don't freeze it, don't fill it up all the way to the top when you're freezing stuff. You know, leave some space for expansion. If you don't, you're going to get a bulge, could even crack it. So anyway, what I do is freeze water in it, and I'll bring it with me to the river. I tie a little cord onto it, then you just tie it to your wader, belt, and let it float along. You need a drink as the ice melts. You get nice cold water to drink, and you don't have to worry about carrying extra weight. The other thing I like to do, if I take a net, and a lot of times when I'm fishing by myself, I don't use a net, but when I do take a net, what I do is, instead of hooking on and put those heavy magnets on, and with this you wouldn't have it anyway, I just take the handle, shove it down in the back of my waders, or my wader belt. These particular waders, these hip waders, or these waist waders like this, don't have the belt on them. But if you have a wading, like a chest wader, and you've got a wading belt, you can just stick it behind your belt. Anyway, that's another way of kind of lightening the load. Again, most of the time when I go, I rarely take a net with me. I will if I'm expecting to catch larger fish, and I will at night, because it makes it a little bit easier to get the flies out, especially where the fish is laying here in the net. Sometimes, and especially with wilder trout, when you catch them, if you'll gently lift them and turn them on their back, they'll lay still for you to take the hook out. If you've had experience with trout that are flopping all over the place, those are usually trout that come out of the hatchery. I have no idea why they're more squirmish than wild trout, but they are. I don't have an explanation for that. I just know if you're fishing for hatchery fish, it's a good idea to have a net, because they're very rarely will they sit still in your hand as you're trying to get the hook out. So anyway, a couple of other things that you can do to kind of lighten the load.